And a very happy afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Tim Burgess with Maximizing Results, back with Think and Grow Rich. And this book is so amazing, and it has made such a dramatic difference in my life that I didn't even know about. I had no idea what an impact this book had on me as a child until many years into studying the book, and more on that as we go through the series. Now, we've talked about desire and this 6-step process. What do we really want? I mean, what do you really want? It isn't about what do I think I can have based on all of my past experiences of life, but what do you really want? I'll never forget in 2006, the first time I saw the movie The Secret. And there's this gray-haired man in the very beginning. He's looking at the camera and he says, "What do you really want?" And man, that hit me like a ton of bricks. I had been studying this book at that time for 10 years. And for whatever reason, the way he said it, it hit me. And I had to go back inside to figure, what do I really want? Now, what do I think I can have? So we went through desire, what do we really want? And then we went through the chapter on faith. How do we develop faith where faith does not already exist? And faith is the visualization of and belief in attainment of desire. So faith really is just believing in ourselves that we actually can have what we really want. And developing faith where it doesn't already exist is super simple. It's just like math class. It just comes down to repetition of affirmation of orders to the subconscious mind. In other words, repetitively say something over and over again. 1 + 1 = 2. 1 + 2 = 3. 1 + 3, 1 + 4, 1 + 5, over and over and over again. And then it was 2 + 1, 2 + 2, 2 + 3, 2 + 4. And there was just a repetition. And we have full faith in our ability to answer the question, what is 3 times 3? We have no doubt about that. We have total faith in that. And the way we develop that faith is through this principle we want to talk about today, autosuggestion. Now, Napoleon says autosuggestion is the medium for influencing the subconscious mind. Now, first of all, I want to talk about how I truly believe that if Napoleon Hill were with us today, and oh, by the way, his spirit is with us, and maybe that's why I feel so strongly about this. I truly believe Napoleon would separate autosuggestion from self-suggestion. See, what he is recommending that you and I do in step 6 of the 6 steps is self-suggestion. We're suggesting to ourselves an idea. That's what we're really doing. Autosuggestion is what's playing in the background. It just keeps going over and over again. It just keeps playing in the background because of the habitual way we've been thinking for years, decades. So I believe he would separate the two. Matter of fact, he even says that on the first page. He says autosuggestion is a term which applies to all suggestions and all self-administered stimuli which reaches one's mind through the 5 senses. Now, what are the 5 senses? Well, see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. See, hear, smell, taste, touch. Well, I can do that. I learned about those in grade school. But I also learned that my dog over here has the same 5 physical senses of see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. So what is it that separates us from the dog, from the canine? More on that as we go through. He says, stated in another way, autosuggestion is self-suggestion. And we're going to separate the two, okay? It is the agency of communication between that part of the mind where conscious thought takes place and that which serves as the seat of action for the subconscious. Now remember, how we feel determines the actions we take. If one feels frustrated, overwhelmed, in a hurry, their actions usually are distracted, distorted, not very focused. However, if one feels worthy, confident, not arrogant, confident, one feels on purpose, one feels persistent because their plans are in place, a definite plan, then the actions that person takes will certainly be more intelligent. It's not hard for us to figure this out. It's actually quite simple. Now, through the dominating thoughts that we permit to remain in the conscious mind, here's the thing. Whether the thoughts be negative or positive is immaterial. It doesn't matter. The principle of self-suggestion voluntarily reaches the subconscious mind and influences it with these thoughts. So what are we holding on to as the dominating thought in our mind? That's what's influencing how we feel. How we feel influences, oh wait a minute, it doesn't influence it. How we feel is responsible for all of the actions that we take. We take action based on how we feel. Make no mistake about that. He says, no thought, whether it be negative or positive, can enter the subconscious mind without the aid of the principle of self-suggestion, with the exception of thoughts that are picked up from the ether. Now remember, we talked about the ether, and the ether is nothing more than the microwaves. It may be how you are actually listening to this right now. No wires connecting you to the internet. However, through the microwaves, through energy, you are connected. It's real simple. He says, stated differently, all sense impressions which are perceived through the five senses are stopped by the conscious mind and may be either passed on to the subconscious or rejected at will. So in other words, your conscious mind is the gatekeeper. You have a gatekeeper to not allow the negatives past. Listen to what he says next. He says, the conscious faculty serves therefore as an outer guard to the approach of the subconscious. He says, nature has so built us that we have absolute control over the material that reaches the subconscious mind through the five senses. We have absolute control. Although this is not meant to be construed as a statement that we actually exercise this control, and in a great majority of instances, we do not exercise this control, which explains why so many people go through life in misery. They're not exercising the control they have to stop the flow of negative thought impulses into the subconscious, and then they turn on the news. Really? What are we allowing in there? What are you allowing to walk down the streets of your mind? Because they're all suggestions, all of them. If we follow the 6 steps, then we're self-suggesting. On purpose, by design, putting in there what we want, creating the feeling of what we want, instead of allowing the feeling to be created by outside circumstances. He says we have total absolute control. Now, if I'm not mistaken, doesn't that mean that nobody can force you to think something you don't want to think? They can't force you to think anything. However, they can suggest it. And then once they get your mind going that way, next thing you know, you feel it, you take the action. Thoughts, feelings, actions, results. He says, recall what's been said about the subconscious mind resembling a fertile garden spot in which weeds will grow in abundance if the seeds of more desirable crops are not sown therein. Think about it. Think about your beautiful yard. You got a beautiful plush lawn, gorgeous green grass, and a bare spot shows up. The guy or gal who cuts your lawn, hydraulic line blows, and you got a bare spot. You put a little topsoil down, and you don't do anything else. You and I both know that a weed will grow there without ever being planted. You never have to go out and plant a weed, and it'll grow. However, if you want to, you could put some grass seed down. Recall what's been said about the subconscious mind resembling a fertile garden spot in which weeds will grow in abundance if the seeds of more desirable crops are not sown therein. The grass seed is the seed of a more desirable crop. The positive thought process is the seed of a more desirable crop. This isn't hard to understand, ladies and gentlemen. It's elementary simple, man. He says, you were instructed in the last of the 6 steps described in the chapter on desire to read out loud twice daily. Out loud twice daily. The written statement of your desire for money, and to see and feel and believe yourself already in possession of that money. He says, when you do this, you communicate the object of the desire directly to the subconscious mind in a spirit of absolute faith. If you do it repetitively, you'll be able to put emotion in it. He's getting ready to tell us how important that is. He says, go back to these 6 steps described in chapter 2 and read them again very carefully before you proceed further. Step 1, what do you want? Step 2, what do you get? Right there it is. Just pop to that page. Step 1, fix in your mind the exact amount of money you desire. In other words, fix in your mind exactly what you desire. Exactly. Step 2, determine what you intend to give in return. Step 3, establish a definite date. I don't know why I'm looking at the book. I don't have to. Step 4, create a definite plan and begin at once whether you're ready or not. Begin at once whether you're ready or not. Step 5, write the statement, a clear, concise statement of all of the other steps. And then step 6, read this statement out loud. What you want, what you intend to give, the time limit for its acquisition, and the plan clearly described. And read it out loud and see and feel and believe yourself already in possession of that which you desire. This isn't hard. It's easy as a cake box, right? And then he says this, remember therefore when reading aloud the statement of your desire through which you're endeavoring to develop a money consciousness, that the mere reading of the words is of no consequence unless you mix emotion or feeling with them. He says if you repeat 1,000,000 times a day, day by day, in every way I am getting better and better, without mixing emotion and faith with the words, you will experience no desirable results. You can repeat this every day over and over again, and if you don't give it some emotion, if you don't emotionalize it, if you don't give it some mojo, if you don't give it some energy, you might as well not do it. Might as well not do it, folks. He says this is a fact of such importance as to warrant repetition in practically every chapter. He says because the lack of understanding of this is the main reason the majority of people who try to apply the principle of self-suggestion get no desirable results. They don't put emotion with it. They simply read a story in disbelief. So in other words, you're praying with disbelief. That's really what you're doing. Well, we all know what happens if you have no belief. We all know what happens if you create no belief. Excuse me. Plain, unemotional words do not influence the subconscious mind. You will get no appreciable results until you learn to reach the subconscious mind with thoughts or spoken words which have been well emotionalized with belief. Well emotionalized with belief. As you read your story, put some emotion into it. Do you really want it? How does it feel after you already have it? Take your mind there. You already have received what it is you desire. Whatever you wrote down in step 1 of the 6 steps, you already have it. How do you feel? Put that emotion into it. Put that emotion into what you want. Put that emotion into what you're doing. Put that emotion and caring into everything. And watch what happens. Plain, old, unemotional words have no action influence on the subconscious mind. To reach the subconscious mind, you must read that statement with emotion and with passion. And get your why out of the closet. Why do you want all that money anyway? Is it just for you? Is it just so you can be greedy? Or is it so you can do cool things with it? Think about those cool things. Emotionalize those cool things as you're going through your story. As always, I want to say thank you to Joe. Without Joe, we wouldn't be here today. We truly wouldn't. So everybody say thank you to Joe. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, allow this day to be the very best day you've ever experienced in this game we call life. Yesterday does not matter. It's already gone. Last night doesn't matter. 20 minutes ago doesn't matter. It's history. However, today, we can allow it to be the very best day we've ever experienced. That's up to us. When you put your head on the pillow tonight, please do so with a mind full of peace. Remember, calmness of mind is one of the beautiful jewels of wisdom. And may God bless each and every one of you. Have a fabulous day.